If you are 70 years or older and you're planning to fly anywhere, whether it's domestically across the United States or internationally to visit family, attend a wedding, or enjoy a vacation, there is something important you need to know. A new set of airport security and identification rules taking effect in 2026 could directly impact your ability to board your flight, especially if you're not fully prepared. These aren't just random changes or minor updates. They are part of a broader shift in how air travel is being regulated. And if you're not aware of them, you could find yourself turned away at the gate, delayed for hours, or even denied boarding altogether. My name is James. I've been a senior U.S. immigration and travel policy professional for 6 years. And through Immigration News Today, I'm here to help you understand exactly what's changing, why it matters, and most importantly, what you can do to protect your travel plans and avoid unnecessary stress or disruption. Stay with me until the very end of this video because what I'm about to share could make all the difference the next time you head to the airport. Let me start with something I know many of you are probably feeling right now. You've flown before. You've traveled internationally. You've shown your passport or your driver's license, gone through security, and boarded your flight without a problem. So, why should 2026 be any different? The truth is, it might not be. But there's a growing list of new requirements, updated security protocols, and shifting airline and government policies that are making air travel more complicated, especially for seniors. And the last thing anyone wants is to show up at the airport ready for a trip, only to be told they can't fly because of a document that's expired, a rule they didn't know about, or a new procedure they weren't prepared for. As of now, the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, working with the Department of Homeland Security and other federal agencies, is rolling out a series of updated travel rules that will affect all passengers, but which could have a bigger impact on older adults. These changes are part of a broader effort to enhance national security, streamline identity verification, and adapt to new technologies. But they also come with new requirements that you need to know about if you want to avoid problems at the airport. So what exactly is changing in 2026, and why should seniors pay special attention? Let me walk you through the key developments in a clear and straightforward way so you understand exactly what's happening, why it matters, and what you can do to prepare. The first major change involves the updated requirements for Real ID-compliant identification. You've probably heard about Real ID by now. It's the federal standard for state-issued IDs that was originally supposed to take full effect back in 2020, but due to the pandemic, the deadline was extended multiple times. Well, as of May 7th, 2025, the Real ID enforcement deadline has already passed for domestic air travel, which means that if you're planning to fly within the United States in 2026, you will need a Real ID-compliant driver's license or state ID card, or another accepted form of identification, such as a valid U.S. passport or passport card. Here's why this matters for seniors. Many older adults still use older driver's licenses that were issued before the Real ID requirements took full effect. Those older licenses may no longer be accepted at airport security checkpoints for domestic flights. If you show up with a non-Real ID license, you could be turned away at the checkpoint, even if you've flown with it for years without any issues. The TSA has been gradually phasing in enforcement, but as of 2026, the rules are fully in place, and they will be strictly enforced. The second major change involves enhanced identity verification procedures for international travel. If you're planning to fly outside the United States, even for a short trip to Canada, Mexico, or the Caribbean, you'll need a passport book that meets current international standards. While this has always been the case, what's changing in 2026 is the way your identity is verified before you even get to the airport. Airlines are now required to collect and send more detailed passenger information to government agencies before your flight. And if there are any discrepancies or missing documents in your reservation, you could be flagged before you even arrive at the check-in counter. For seniors, this can be especially problematic if you're traveling with an older passport that's close to expiring, or if your name on your reservation doesn't exactly match the name on your passport. Even small differences like a missing middle name or a mismatch in how your name is formatted can trigger delays or denials at the airline counter. And once you're flagged, resolving the issue can take hours or even result in you missing your flight. The third key change involves new security screening procedures for passengers aged 70 and older. Now, before you breathe a sigh of relief and think this means seniors are exempt from tough security measures. Let me clarify. Seniors are not being singled out for additional screening in the way that some other groups might be. However, what is changing is the way seniors are treated during the screening process. And in some cases, that can lead to unexpected delays or complications. For example, TSA has introduced new protocols that allow for more flexibility in how seniors present themselves during screening. In many cases, seniors may be allowed to keep their shoes and light jackets on, or may be given the option to go through a less invasive screening process. But here's the catch. Those accommodations are not automatic. They are applied at the discretion of the TSA officer. And if you don't clearly communicate your needs, or if your documentation isn't in order, you could end up being subjected to the standard screening process, which can be more time-consuming and physically demanding. The fourth major change involves the use of new biometric screening technologies at more airports across the United States. Biometric screening, which uses facial recognition or fingerprint technology to verify your identity, is becoming more common at major airports. And as of 2026, it's being expanded to smaller hubs as well. For most travelers, this means walking past a camera that matches your face to the photo on your passport or ID. For seniors, however, this can sometimes create challenges, especially if your photo is outdated, if you wear glasses or hearing aids that affect the scan, or if you're not comfortable with the technology. The good news is that you can opt out of biometric screening if you prefer a manual check. But if you do opt out, be prepared for potentially longer lines or additional questioning. And if you're traveling with a companion who is also a senior, make sure you discuss your preferences in advance so you're both prepared for the process. The fifth key change involves new documentation requirements for travelers with medical conditions or disabilities. If you're a senior who requires special assistance during your flight, whether it's a wheelchair, oxygen, or other medical equipment, you'll need to provide advance notice to the airline and ensure that all your documentation is up to date. Airlines are now required to collect more detailed information about medical equipment and assistive devices. And if your paperwork isn't in order, you could be delayed or even denied boarding. This is especially important for seniors who travel with portable oxygen concentrators, CPAP machines, or other medical devices that need to be approved in advance. Make sure you contact your airline at least 48 hours before your flight to provide the necessary documentation and confirm that your equipment is allowed on board. Now, let me talk about what all of these changes mean for you and what you can do to prepare right now to avoid problems at the airport. If you're planning to fly domestically in 2026, the first thing you need to do is check your ID. Does it meet the Real ID requirements? If you're not sure, look for the star symbol on your driver's license or state ID card. That star indicates that your ID is Real ID compliant. If you don't have a star, you'll need to either get a new Real ID compliant license from your state DMV or use another accepted form of ID, such as a valid U.S. passport or passport card. Getting a Real ID compliant license is usually a simple process, but it does require you to visit your DMV in person and bring specific documents. So, don't wait until the last minute. If you're planning to fly internationally, double-check the expiration date on your passport. As of 2026, the standard recommendation is to have a passport that's valid for at least 6 months beyond your travel dates. And some countries may require even longer validity. If your passport is close to expiring or has already expired, you'll need to renew it as soon as possible. Passport renewals can take several weeks, and in some cases even longer during peak travel seasons, so don't delay. Next, review your travel documents and reservations. Make sure the name on your airline ticket matches the name on your ID or passport exactly. If there's a discrepancy, even a small one, contact your airline and get it corrected before your flight. This is especially important for seniors who may have traveled under a maiden name, a previous married name, or a nickname in the past. Consistency is key when it comes to airport security and airline systems. If you have any medical conditions or require special assistance, contact your airline well in advance. Provide all the necessary documentation for your medical equipment or devices and confirm that your needs will be accommodated. If you're traveling with a companion, make sure they're aware of your requirements and can assist you if needed. If you're uncomfortable with biometric screening or have concerns about how it might work for you, talk to a TSA officer or airline representative when you arrive at the airport. You have the right to opt out of biometric screening, but be prepared to go through a manual process instead. Knowing your options in advance can save you time and stress. Let me share a couple of real-world examples to illustrate how these changes can impact seniors in real life. Take the case of Margaret, a 74-year-old retiree from Florida who was planning to visit her grandchildren in North Carolina. She had flown dozens of times before and always used her driver's license to pass through security. But when she arrived at the airport in 2025, she was told that her license wasn't real ID compliant and she couldn't board her flight. She had to scramble to get a passport, which delayed her trip by 2 days. Margaret's story is a great example of why it's so important to check your ID before you travel, even if you've flown before without any issues. Or consider the case of Robert, an 80-year-old veteran who was traveling to Canada with his wife. His passport had expired just a few months earlier, and he didn't realize that he needed a valid passport to re-enter the United States. He was denied boarding at the Canadian border and had to return home. Robert's experience highlights the importance of checking passport validity, especially for international travel. These stories are not uncommon, and they're exactly why I'm sharing this information with you today. The changes happening in 2026 are not designed to make your life more difficult. They're part of a broader effort to enhance security and streamline the travel process. But if you're not aware of them, they can create unnecessary challenges and disruptions. As we come to the close of this video, I want to remind you why Immigration News Today exists. This channel is here to give you accurate, verified information about the travel and immigration landscape, the good, the challenging, and everything in between. I will never overwhelm you with unnecessary fear, but I will always give you the facts you need to make informed decisions and protect yourself and your family. If this video helped you understand the new 2026 airport rules and how they might affect you as a senior traveler, please take a moment to like it, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to Immigration News Today with notifications turned on. I'm here every day to keep you informed about changes in travel policies, security requirements, and immigration updates that could impact your life. Before I go, my standard disclaimer. Everything I've shared today is for general informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Travel policies and security requirements can change rapidly, and your individual situation may have unique factors that require professional guidance. Please verify all information with official sources, including TSA.gov, DHS.gov, and your airline's official website. As of now, the details I've provided are accurate based on the latest available information. Thank you for trusting me with your travel plans and your peace of mind. My name is James, and this is Immigration News Today. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.